Okay, friends, hello. I had a request today in my stories. Yes, I'm coming at you just full on sweatsuit. Hair up in the cute little bun. It's almost shower day. Anyways, I digress. These times are particularly intense. I always find February to be one of the most intense months of the year. It's like we've kind of gone through the muck of winter and we're like just really ready for spring, and it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like it's like this, we've really got to implore grit in these like final sort of steps towards spring. There's just a lot going on too at this point in time in our world. So much is happening, and it's very intense. We are in a big moment. So I personally, a week ago, got taken out by absolute overwhelm, anxiety attack, just completely overwhelmed, overstimulated, and shut down. So I get it. I'm here with you. And so I wanted to come and share with you some alignment cues, breathing techniques that I find just psychosomatically incredibly powerful. And the reason why is because I think so many times when we go to practice meditation or we go to practice yoga, and like these mind-body practices, so often from the teachings, it feels like it still feels outside of us. That was my experience. It still felt like, we'd take these affirmations, we'd be saying these things, but it was like, but where did you get that from? Like, how did that get here? Like, did you just pull it out of your ass? Like, did you just read it in a book and you've now made it up and it just feels like it applies here? Like, where does this come from? Why? Why? I always need to know why in order to like actually have something like be true or land for me and make sense. Is like, I really need to know the intention behind it, the reason behind it, where it came from, like what the F is this? So to me, psychosomatics really brought clarity to that, really made these like very woo-woo concepts literal of the body. So I wanted to share that with you because it's been incredibly helpful for quote unquote grounding. And it, to me, is like even more than grounding. It's like this, or maybe this is like the meaning of grounding for me, but grounding is a knowing. Grounding is like coming back to the faith that you just like innately are. Grounding is coming back to your grace. Grounding is like so much more than just like connecting to the earth. Grounding is really coming home. So you are more than welcome to do this standing. It's quite powerful when we're standing because the cues, you easily remember them in your day-to-day life, in the regular moments, like when you're filling up your gas tank and your mind's going 20 miles an hour, just a breath and this alignment, and you come back. Or in the grocery store, if you're anxious like I am in the world these days and you need a moment to just center and just come back to your own lane and protect from what's outside, you can implore this alignment in the grocery store, when you're having a hard conversation with anyone, when you're having a loving conversation with somebody and you really want to connect. I describe this alignment like I am a battery being plugged in to my source, and I'm being charged. So you can have that visual, like you're a battery plugging into source, allowing yourself to be recharged. So yeah, let's just take it from there. You can do this standing, like I said, because that's just so memorable when you're in your day-to-day life. But if right now, as you're listening to this, you are just depleted, shot, done, just a comfortable seat or even lying on your back. It's so good lying on your back to feel your entire self, the weight of you, the density of you being supported so fully by gravity is quite beautiful. So either or. Even one last option, you could go to do legs up the wall. Legs up the wall, very simple. If you don't know it, just Google it, legs up the wall. Because then your spine is fully supported and your legs are fully supported by gravity. It's so amazing. The whole system, like all of your body gets to let go. All of your body takes that support. And the other point of that too, like if you just check in right now, does it feel like not only do you need recharging, but do you need assistance in flipping your perspective on something, like really changing your mind around something? Legs up the wall, along with these alignment cues in this meditation I'll take you through, can be very supportive for changing your perspective, right? You've flipped yourself upside down. That's what inversions in yoga are, upside down positions. So legs up the wall, if this is your spine, your legs are up, you are in an inversion. And so you're changing your perspective. You have literally changed your perspective. So it should be pretty easy then to start really allowing the mind to change its perspective too. Great. So again, from standing, from seated, from lying down, you decide. Legs up the wall, you decide. I'm just going to stay seated. I will cue from the ground up. So you just follow along as necessary for your position. And as I cue the standing, remember that, because it's, again, you can take this into your world and very much apply it in everyday moments when the chaos is real. So find your comfortable position. You are more than welcome to close your eyes. Sometimes that doesn't feel safe, so you just keep your eyes open and allow the gaze to just unfocus and soften, whatever you choose. Can you now relax your jaw? And sometimes it really does take the help of my hands to come in and just like massage. Good flutter of the lips and the tongue is so beneficial for truly relaxing this expression of you. We want our expression, this is the center of our expression, the throat, the voice, this is relaxed. And then from there, we are now tuning into breath. And if, again, as your jaw and your tongue, the throat is relaxed, you can find the breath in and out of the nose, kind of like at the back of your throat there. Sounds like you're fogging up a mirror, but your lips are gently closed. So you continue to breathe. Continue to breathe. And just remember that on your inhales, we don't want to be forceful on that intake. We want we want simplicity, we want relaxation, we want ease. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling all the way out. Good. So you find your breath, stay in that breath. We're going to come back to the cueing of the breath and get a little more into detail shortly. But we are going to start again, like I said, from the ground up. So wherever you are, bring awareness to your feet. Wiggle the toes. If it's possible, if your legs are up, roll the ankles. If you're lying down, have your feet grounded wide and let the knees rest together at the midline. And just feel your low back release with that. If you're standing and you're lifting your toes up, can you feel the arches of your feet? Like the diaphragm, it lifts up. It creates like a suction cup in each foot. And then you can play Sort of shift your weight back and forth and find your perfect middle ground. Find the middle ground. Middle ground is where everything neutralizes. So you find that neutral. If you're lying on your back, you are in neutral. I'm in neutral. So the charge, if there's an energetic charge that's been taking over, whether it's positive or negative, you're neutralizing now. You're coming back to middle ground. Keep breathing. So now that we have our feet aware, we've found our middle ground, and you're standing, may you unlock your kneecaps. That's usually the first point where we cut off energetic flow, as we lock out the joints of our knees. And so it's as if we are really trying to stand our ground, prove a point, so our knees lock out. But then that jacks up our tailbone and we've locked out through the low back. So now we've made another point of disconnection. So as you soften your knees, your tailbone naturally starts to descend. And you notice the tailbone, if it was a real tail, it would be like this third point. You would be a tripod. You'd have this third point to lean back on. So feel your tailbone descend as if it's like an anchor dropping down. So the beautiful thing about this part of our body, the pelvis, the sacral center, is also the center of gravity. So when we look at the body in that sort of like physics way, biomechanical way, we have this center of gravity where our weight is evenly distributed. So the center of gravity is like, okay, I'm dropping my tailbone down. This is my center of gravity dropping down through the earth to the earth's core. It's like this magnet, the battery plugging in. So the center of you connects to the center of the earth. And just in truth, you can feel how your center becomes a little more solid, a little more stable. So you feel stability. I am stable. I am stable. That to me is far more powerful than grounded. I am stable, right? We talk about our root chakra. Again, this is like chakra 1 and 2 right now that we're talking about. Root chakra is stability. Stability. Yes, it's grounding, but it's stable. The human wants stability. I am stable. So again, just awareness, I've got my middle ground. I'm evenly weighted on my feet. My knees are unlocked. That flow of Earth's energy can move up through my body. My tailbone is dropping down, connecting to the core of the earth. So I'm no longer just like dumping my emotions out. I'm no longer draining my sensual energy, that power for the woman. I'm no longer draining that. I'm no longer cutting off that flow. I am stable. I'm in my emotional authority, right? You can even play with that by tilting pelvis and then dropping tailbone down, tilting and tucking, tilt, tuck. You can do that in any position you're in and feel the difference. Feel the difference when you lock that low back out, when you lock out that center of gravity. You feel that cut off. So be there. Just remembering your breath. Noticing your jaw, your tongue. How you're expressing all of this energy. It is absolutely shown in your face. So if you're to just check in again with what's the expression is on your face, does it communicate what you desire? What you desire to be, what you desire to feel? Check in. So once this foundation of us is very stable and set in integrity, it's quite easy then for the upper body to feel relaxed. But just check in, do a few crackly shoulder rolls, and just feel the shoulders rest in their space. Maybe visualize the rib cage as a cylinder, the top of your pelvis as a cylinder, and they just seem to lock on top of one another. Shoulders relax now, the chest is open, the heart is open, ready to receive, ready to give. Whether you choose to have palms open, again, that sign of receptivity, or somehow grounded on the body, whatever feels right. It's just very natural what you'll choose. So now if we bring awareness just to the nape of the neck. So the nape of the neck is like where the base of your skull meets like the top of your spine. That's the nape of the neck. And just up from there is the crown of your head. So the crown of the head is more on the back of the head than it is like right on the top. So if you think about the top of your ears kind of being pulled up towards the sky, that's lengthening through the crown. It's like I'm taking my spine right here and I'm pulling it up further. Just like the tailbone descended down to the core of the earth, now our spine is reaching up to the heavens, to that infinite source. We're plugging in. Relax your expression, soften all the joints to let the energy flow, find your breath. So now bring awareness fully back into the breath. You're in your alignment. You have a stable, integral foundation. You have an open heart, a soft and forgiving expression. You're at ease. So coming again, just focusing to the breath. I want to bring you in through an inhale. And now feel into the exhale, and if you can bring that exhale all the way to the bottom of the breath, there is a really natural moment of pause. It's in that moment you just keep breathing. But at the bottom of that exhale breath, that very last moment where there's a natural pause, you're holding. Your diaphragm is like a sheath. It's kind of like the parachute we used to play with in grade school. So it's a sheath of tissue, and it's all along the bottom of the cylinder of your rib cage. So there's a sheath covering the cylinder of the rib cage. And as you exhale, that sheath lifts up, like the arches of your feet domed up. When you practice that first part of the alignment, your diaphragm lifts up into the rib cage, just like that. It tenses up. The same moment, the heart is encompassed in this sheath, webbing, netting of tissue, and it drops down in the rib cage, in the thoracic cavity. So the diaphragm has moved up and the heart is moving down. And at that very moment where you're holding, where you have a pause, your heart is held. Your heart rests on the diaphragm. So literally, your heart is held. Literally, your heart is held. How does that feel? And it's so simple. From there, we just relax and an inhale comes back in. You don't have to force an inhale. You don't have to force breath to fill you up. You don't have to force life to come and move through you. Just allow, and you'll be guided. All the way to the bottom of the exhale breath. I am held. So I am held. I know this now. It's literal. It's not something I've just pulled out of my ass to make myself feel better. This is literally happening. So you can never doubt that you are being held or not. I am held. Every single breath, I am held. Now accompany that with the alignment that you've placed in your spine and in your entire body, the skeleton of you, the bones of you, your support system is in integrity. I am supported. You've plugged in your life force to the core of the earth, to the infinite heavens and the sky above. You are plugged into source. You're recharging. Their whole skeleton is supported. I am supported. I am in my integrity, and I am held. I am supported. I am in my integrity. I am held. I am supported. I am in my integrity. And I am held. So keep breathing, keep repeating those, write those everywhere, and just remember that this is the truth. It's a non-negotiable. It is. I am supported. I am in my integrity, and I am held. When you are truly present to the moments of your lives, you are in your home, you are in your body, and it's literally happening. No doubt can take over, no chaos can become overwhelming. No one can ever take you out of that alignment. No, you can never doubt if you're on path, or if you're doing it right, or if you're alone. I am supported. Just when you support yourself, when you choose to come back, I am supported. I am in integrity. I am held. Never forget it. So you can continue to breathe. Feel the body, just feel the support of gravity. Relax your expression. Continue to relax your expression. When I created Ground to Grace, ground is our agency. So when we connect to our stable foundation and we create that integrity of the body, right? Tailbone dropping down, knees unlocked. When we have that stability in our foundation, we have our ground, and we're connected to our agency. Our agency, we are agents of this life. Life force moves through us. We are the agent that directs it forward. So you have agency when you're connected to your ground. You have a right to persevere as you desire. From the ground, when we're connected to our agency, we start to embody our autonomy. We start to have that individuality. The autonomy comes next. So we're really truly connected to our yeses and our nos, and it's a non-negotiable. We have autonomy. That's the center of gravity connecting to the core of the earth. When we have our agency, we have our autonomy. When we have autonomy, we move up through to the heart center, throat center, and we have our authenticity. We're in our authentic experience of this life, and our authentic experience, sharing that with the world, using our voice. We're speaking the truth of our own heart. So from the agency, we have autonomy, and we then have this authentic experience. We're in our authenticity. So we move from ground. What it takes to have autonomy, though, is our guts. I forgot to mention this. So to gain autonomy, we need to implore guts. It's gutsy moves that back your yeses and back your nos. It is a gutsy sort of thing. So we need guts to have autonomy. We move up again to have that authentic expression. Our authenticity takes grit. It's never easy to use your voice. It's never easy to translate that authentic expression and share it with the world. It's never easy. We need a ton of grit. Grit. We implore grit to have authenticity. But then by way of all of that, we move up and we move up and we move up. And we're in our authority. And we're moving by the grace of God. So this is why we practice alignment. This is why we use movement as a form of channeling or as a form of grounding. That's why movement grounds us, because it's literal. The body doesn't know the difference between literal or like imagination. So just remember what is literally happening in your physical body is psychosomatically translated to your emotional world, the energetic world. So we watch our language. We watch our language, and when we do feel chaotic, you come back home. And then doubt, there's no room for that. So I hope this is helpful. I really hope this is helpful. I hope that you remind yourself to utilize this tool in all the moments that you need. And then let me know in the comments how it serves you. If you want some more explanation on something, dive into something a little deeper. I'm so happy to do that. So never forget the power that is you innately. I love you. Talk to you soon.